Let's get into the papers now, see what the headlines are across Nigeria. And I have with me in the studio some of our regulars to do justice to understanding what the headlines would be. I have with me Dr. Dayo Kayode, political technocrat. It's good to have you join me, Dayo.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you very much.
Good morning.
And I also have Shijibumi Adebi Bennett. He's a social commentator. Thank you so much for coming as well.
Good to see you.
You're welcome. Okay, let's begin with the Blueprint newspaper. Blueprint newspaper says, 2023 presidency, APC has zoned slot to South. Senator Gire is saying this. APC has zoned slot to the South. Senator Gire is saying this. It says decision has Buhari party's blessing, or backing, sorry, backing there. All right, that's a Blueprint newspaper there. From there, let's go to the Business AM. Business AM says Nigeria's lost global agricultural export earnings put at $242 billion. Ooh, that's a lot of money. Nigeria's lost global agricultural export earnings put at $242 billion. That's Business AM. Business Day says some of the world's priciest real estate idling away in Nigeria. Some of the world's priciest real estate idling away in Nigeria. I guess this is of great concern to a lot of people. Daily Independent is next now at 11 trillion naira. Deficit monetization fuels inflation, weakens the naira. That's Daily Independent. Daily Independent says at 11 trillion naira, deficit monetization fuels inflation, weakens the naira. Daily Independent. From there, let's go to Daily Sun. Daily Sun, all right, that's Daily Independent there we just talked about. Going now to Daily Sun. Northern elders to Buhari, Nigeria on fire under you. Northern elders saying to Buhari, Nigeria is on fire under you. Okay, that's Daily Sun. And the Daily Times says, Obasanjo tasks Africa on agriculture, manufacturing amid COVID-19. Obasanjo tasks Africa on manufacturing amid COVID-19. You can find that on the front page of the Daily Times. Daily Trust is next now. Daily Trust newspaper says 20 buried in Ibadan, 5,000 take refuge. We've lost everything. Victims are saying this. Makinde Akeredolu visit burnt market as Hausa community seeks help. Do something now, Matawale, the Northern Elders Forum, OPC, tell Buhari. I wouldn't allow ethno-religious violence, says the president is saying this. Okay, that's a Daily Trust. Guardian newspaper. Guardian says rice, flour, sugar, cement top free trade exemption list. Rice, flour, sugar, cement top free trade exemption list. The federal government moves to protect 180 other items. Intrigues over appointment of substantive Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement chief trade negotiator. Rules of origin abuse worries manufacturers. All these on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Leadership is next now. Leadership newspaper says Ibadan riot. Stop giving ethnic coloration to crimes. Federal government warns. Stop giving ethnic coloration to crimes. Federal government warns. That's following the issues in Shasha in Oyo State. That's a leadership newspaper. The Nation is next. The Nation newspaper says, Buhari, we won't tolerate ethnic religious violence, as the president is saying this. We won't tolerate ethnic religious violence, prevent conflicts. President tells governors and monarchs. Okay. That's the Nation newspaper. National Economy says, beyond remittances, Nigeria needs viable diaspora trust fund. Beyond remittances, Nigeria needs viable diaspora trust fund. And Nigerians in diaspora are eager to invest at home. The federal government is saying that. You find that on the front page of the National Economy. News Direct is next. News Direct says, federal government spends $9.76 billion on debt services. That's the Central Bank of Nigeria is revealing this. Federal government spends $9.76 billion in debt services. Okay. That's News Direct. The Punch newspaper says, inbound passengers shun isolation, enforcement collapses. Inbound passengers shun isolation, and enforcement collapses. Our priority on testing, not compulsory self-isolation, says Lagos. And self-isolation enforcement controlled by NCDC, not states. Kano State is saying this. It's personal responsibility. The FCT is saying this. And FAN shifts reinforcement to NCDC. Okay. So from this headlines now is a back and forth. They're throwing it back at the health agencies now. Inbound passengers shun isolation and enforcement collapses. All right, that's the Punch newspaper. This day is next. This day says, prepare to receive herders who may be forced home. Northern Elders Forum tells Northern governors. Says Fulani who have broken no laws must be protected. Otom to Bauchi governor. No law permits herders to carry AK-47. Okay. No law permits herders to carry AK-47. That's the governor of Benue State talking to his counterpart of Bauchi State. The Vanguard newspaper is next. Vanguard says Shasha, federal government, Vice President, Southwest governors move to avert reprisal attacks. And Akeredolu preaches peace. Criminal acts shouldn't be treated as ethnic conflict. Oshibajo is saying this. I'll resist fifth columnist from destabilizing Oyo. That's Makinde, the governor of Oyo State, saying this. Investigate clash. OPC charges Buhari and Makinde. We lost property worth millions of naira. That's the victims of that attack are crying out. Okay. All that you see on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Now, gentlemen, there are several issues on the front burner here that I'd like us to talk about. And the issues of security is one thing. I'd like us to start from... okay, there are several things and I'd like us to touch, because all of them are quite vital. Now, the story on the front page of the Business Day says some of the world's priciest real estate idling away in Nigeria. The report came out sometime how some of the big houses, large houses, beautiful edifices in Abuja, many of them being idle. We've been talking about housing deficit in Nigeria. We've been talking about how people are homeless, and sometimes the price, the rentage, is high up there because we have deficit in housing. What do you make of this, Shijibambi? Let me start with you briefly.
Yeah, real estate is a big business in Nigeria, and people use it for different purposes. Not really for helping to mitigate the effect of housing deficit. Real estate sometimes is used in Nigeria for money laundering and to make sure that monies that people have embezzled are tied down somewhere. When this administration came, excuse me, we can remember that the president started traveling, had so many, agreements with the governments in Dubai, in the US, in the UK, and it was difficult for people to move money out. In Dubai today, they have an agreement with the Nigerian government that if you own a building or you have an investment in any of the real estate sector, then the government of Nigeria must be privy or must know about it. And don't forget that we had a case whereby there was even an issue over the former chief of army staff owning something and people trying to say, okay, how did he get to own and that? So different things came about. So people were not able to move funds as they used to, especially people who had their hands in detail. So people buy houses and not the houses that you and I can stay in. So 4 billion, 10 billion, sometimes when you hear about these transactions, you will...
you will think whether it is the country that is involved in that transaction.
So, and all these houses are just there for maybe future or for another transaction when the next election cycle comes or when people need money. That's one. Number two is immigration. People are running to Canada, people are running to where they think there is more security for their lives. So, and who are the people running out? Are those people running out the people that can afford 3 square meters, or the people that cannot afford? Yeah. So you look at all these factors. There's so many of these apartments that are being used for shortlets now. So those are the different
dynamics around. All right, now, Daniel, the point there is there was a report recently, I think a few days ago, about a week ago, that's saying that the federal government needs to provide about 1 million housing units annually for us to be able to meet the demand, as the case may be. I wonder how realistic that is.
Yes. Let me first of all commend Shijibumi about those factors, but one of them is still missing. That is the inefficiency of government. Let's take, for instance, the former federal secretariat at Ikoyi. See how big that place is. What are they using it for now? And then you have a load of them scattered all over the country, not only in Abuja. We're also having it in Lagos here. Go to Ikoyi, you see some of them. And especially, there are some of them that doesn't want government to know that they own those houses so that they will not be queried. Okay? Now, coming to the housing deficit, between you and me, if you look at the way we have been talking about housing deficit since, I give kudos to Abaja Konde once again. May his soul rest in peace.
Amen.
We need such a person in this country. With that mere amount of money, look at all he did as regards trying to fill up that gap of housing needs. Look at, I don't know whether you know Professor Mabo Gunde. You need to go and look at some of his works on housing needs. You need to go and look at that of Professor Agbola. There's another one, Professor Agbola, as regards housing needs in this country. And to the extent to which they have been trying to push government to do this. But it's a pity. Government just talk without walking the talk. All right? Now, I was discussing with one boy, one youth outside just now from Adegunle. And he was telling me how dense the population there is. But then imagine the great guys that Adegunle has shown out in football, in academics, in entertainment,
in music,
in
movies,
in all that. Do you understand? And government is seeing that area, and you are not doing anything. Look at our Lagos State now. Each day, each week, each month, each year, they declare how much they make on IGR. How the IGR is increasing every now and then. What is Lagos State doing as regards?
But to be fair, but to be fair to Lagos, Lagos has the owner-occupier housing estate across the different zones of the state.
When you have such, they will say this one is for low-income earners. Who are the person they give it to? They still give it to themselves, and themselves will now be renting it out to people like you and me.
Well, but look at
Marwa Gardens. Marwa Garden is supposed to be occupied by Lagos State workers living at working at that secretariat, so that they can live closer to where they are working. But go there and check who are the people occupying that place. There is another place beside, I think not too far from Muri International, MITV, not too far. I don't know. I said on that particular road, meant for Lagos State workers. But go and check who are the people living there. Unlike when Babaja Konde build all those housing nurses here and there. Abeson,
We-
this, that.
Yeah, we also
you
remember
have all these low income earners occupying those houses.
In fact, in the Second Republic, I think the government at that time had housing as one of its.
Even Shagari.
We had Shagari low cost.
Even Shagari too.
In our villages, in our local governments, there were Shagari low cost all over the place. All that now, a lot of them are dilapidated now. No one is living there.
Because each day that breaks, our leaders are diminishing in their capacity.
All right,
unlike in those days.
Let's move from there to security issues now. Daily Sun says, Northern Elders to Buhari, Nigeria on fire under you. And this statement points directly to issues of security here. And we recall that the Office of the National Security Advisor is convening a town hall, which will be starting in Kaduna State today. And he's supposed to meet with governors of the northwestern region, as well as traditional rulers, religious leaders, and all of that. Basically, what do you expect them to discuss at that level that may be new?
I think it's something that is laudable, but has come very, very late. Security issues have been discussed in Nigeria for 2 to 3 years now. When this administration came about, we remember that security issues had been there before they came in. But it got escalated and we didn't act on time. It was herdsmen and farmers in Benue. This government tackled that issue for like 2 years. That was a long time. It was very close to the election, maybe a year to the election, that we were able to, like 6 months to the election, that we were able to resolve that. And I can remember when the president went to Benue. That was when Otom now thanked the president that Benue is now
calm,
relatively safe. So, but we didn't take a cue or signal for that, from that. Don't forget that Otom was very firm, even though there were casualties and consequences to that firmness. But he was able to emphasize and to stand his ground. Those that just left Benue, they went somewhere. It's just like saying you give amnesty to bandits in Katsina. They will leave Katsina for a while. They will go somewhere else. So if this thing is not done all round, then there will be issues. So the herdsmen that left Benue, or a good chunk of them that left Benue, where did they go to? Did anybody try to check or even resolve the issue? In Nigeria, we paper over the cracks. There is nothing new that we're going to say in those town hall meetings than to reach the conclusion of ranching. The world cannot continue to leave us behind in every aspect of our polity. Education, they have left us behind. If you want the best of education now, you have to leave this country.
Yeah, but you know that. The challenge here is not only about herders and farmers. In fact, in Kaduna State, they've talked about the issue of kidnapping and armed robbery, especially on the Abuja-Kaduna highway and all of that. So, but basically, we'll come back to you on this.
If I can quickly round off.
Okay.
Now, I know it's not about it, but don't forget that that was the genesis. Let me tell you why. Even in the Southwest today, if you are a foreigner, let me say a Fulani, for example, because those are the people that do herding or a cattle business, and you come into a community, if there is no already established community of yours there, it will be difficult for you to perpetrate anyhow. That's why people are saying those people have to leave, which is wrong because some of them are innocent. But they are looking at it from the angle of you have to leave so that when a foreigner comes in, he has to identify where he's going to. What are you going to do in the bush? You stay in the town. So,
well, the context of the foreigner, I would need us to put them in the right perspective. Exactly, because even if whatever ethnic group you are, if you are Nigerian, you have the right to live anywhere.
Are not from Nigeria.
Well, in that context.
Let me give you this analogy. As we are here, there are rules of engagement. Okay? If on this table I become so unruly, uncouth, and unethical, you are not telling me to stop. Tomorrow, you are still bringing me. Next tomorrow, you are still bringing me. Knowing fully that NBC is also watching you. Are you not an accomplice?
Of course, technically.
You will be taken as an accomplice. What I'm saying
but
is...
certainly I won't let that happen anyway.
No, it's just an analogy. It's just an analogy.
No, I get you. I'm just
never
kidding.
on couch, neither am I on culture. Neither will I be unruly here. But we are using an analogy to get somewhere. Where am I going? Sir, say all the English. Nothing will happen at that day. What do they call it again?
Town hall meeting.
Town hall. Nothing will happen.
Why do you think so?
Not until.
What?
Not until.
Why do you think so?
I said not until when our president, commander-in-chief of the armed forces, is determined to end this crisis.
Yeah, but
excuse me,
but for him to give a go ahead for this town hall,
it is not
should we not see it as his determination?
Instruction. There was a time he gave an instruction to one inspector general of police to go somewhere. 3 days after, that one did not go to anywhere. What happened to that guy? He still finished his term. Only because people shouted, his time will have been extended again. Now, there are some of them that have been going to even settle these bandits. There was a particular governor that said he went to Chad to go and give some bandits money. That means you know these bandits. Have you arrested them? The ones you are able to arrest, you are saying you want to recalibrate their head and then bring them back to the society. And you are now telling me you want to do one town hall? With who? With who? Who is even saying when people are sitting at that town hall, those people will not strike? Because this same president went to Katsina and they struck. I pity those people that will go there.
Anyway,
because they might. Those people might now say, look, because of you, we want to strike again, and nothing will happen. The moment they refused, the moment they refused arresting these guys, the moment they refused bringing them to book, the moment they refused punishing them, it will continue. So nothing to do at that town hall meeting.
As much as we remain optimistic, like Shidibumi has said, well, it's a good development, but it's coming a little late. But it is better late than never. But recall that sometime the former chief of army staff had indicted, or there was a report credited to him that he said that some traditional rulers were accomplices to issues of banditry and all of that. There was a local government chairman in one of the state in the northwestern state that was arrested at a time for aiding and abetting headers and all of that. Now, these are the kinds of people... Bandits, exactly. These are the kind of people that the meeting is still going to be held with. Traditional rulers, religious leaders, local government chairmen, governors, and all of that. What concerns do you have, and what kind of caution? Because when you're meeting with these people and you're discussing and the strategies and what we should agree, how we should go about this and all of that, if anyone is an accomplice, it will be at that meeting. So what kind of caution should one take in that kind of regard?
Yes, much as I partially agree with Dr. Dayo, it's true that sometimes maybe something will not come out. But we've seen, for example, the Southern Kaduna, even your TV had today's program on journalist hangout on that, and they brought in the different factions. Today, we've seen a bit of a resolution and calmness. Now, if we go about that, the town hall meetings will do something. People will be able to hear their concerns. So I'll be able to look you in the face and tell you that you are aiding and abetting. Then solutions and things people think, because the solution cannot come from Abuja. It will come from the people who experience these things. So they will be able to...
And these solutions are not been coming on television stations, radio stations, commentaries on newspapers.
Yeah. Anyway,
why have you not taken up
well,
to that?
the point there is we expect that the security chiefs know what to do.
Yeah.
The moment you hint, whatever you hint, they know what to do. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt and see how things run off. Thank you so much, Chijibumi Adebi Bennett. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Dayo Kayode, thank you very much for coming as well.
Thank you for
really
having
appreciate
me.
both of you.
I appreciate it.
All right.